Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Gena Bradshaw, where we talk all things holistic health, wellness, spirituality, fitness, meditation, energetics, and so much more to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. Let's dive in. This is not medical advice. This is simply to help you on your journey through health, fitness, and wellness. I hope this helps. You can complement this with anything that you are doing currently in your life. Enjoy. What the holistic human performance community has turned into is something beyond words. I am so grateful for each and every single one of you. And I wanted to talk about what the community is all about. And really, it just started with me going through a really low time in life, where I did not have my health as a 2-time cancer survivor. And I really leaned into holistic health, that lifestyle, changing everything about it. Really taking a deep dive into energy medicine and spirituality and combining all of these different aspects of mind, body, and soul together that helped me heal on a deep level. And now I am following out my soul's mission and purpose and bringing this to you all. And so I want to invite you inside of the holistic human performance community. We have an app, which is the HHP app on Apple and Google Play, which you can also get all of these goodies on the desktop as well. And really what you're going to find inside of this community, I call it the Virtual Wellness Center. It's going to be all about holistic health, spirituality, energetics, all different practices, tools, modalities. So we have things like sound bath meditations, we have breath work, we have tapping series, we have workouts, we have somatic healing, we have masterclass series, we have programs. I have other professionals come on inside of the app to teach. So there's so many cool things you get inside of this community. And so I wanted to give this to you all as a membership. And what you're getting is a monthly membership where you have 300 plus on-demand videos, plus live stream classes and programs and courses. You're literally getting all of these incredible tools to take with you wherever, whenever you need. And so for $33 per month, you get access to this. Or you can do annual, which is $320 for the year. You're getting all of this inside of the Holistic Human Performance Virtual Wellness Center. And not only that, you could try it out for 1 week free and cancel whenever you want. So these are things that are going to help reprogram your subconscious mind, you regulate your nervous system, keep you healthy and navigating life with full life force energy, and really helping you to express yourself authentically while also enhancing your health and your well-being so that you can find and follow your soul's mission and purpose. So I invite you inside of this community. It is so beautiful and juicy. And not to mention, we have a whole section inside of the app where it is a community forum so we can chat with each other and talk about our wins, what we're going through, and so much more. And I don't know if I mentioned, if you are a one-on-one coaching client, you get full access to the entire Virtual Wellness Center membership. So I invite you inside of the HHP community. Again, you can get your week free trial on Apple or Google Play or right on your desktop at holistichumanperformance.co.
Hello and welcome to the Holistic Human Performance Podcast. I am your host this week, Jake Santora, and I am excited to share the essence of the Scorpio season. For those that don't know me but do know Gena, our wonderful founder and leader of Holistic Human Performance. I focus specifically on astrology in our workshop. And for myself, I love combining the astrological blueprints, which is an individual's birth chart, as well as the collective energy that is around us during these different seasons, but also the planetary alignments that are above us right now as we speak. And I look at their interactions on human behaviors as it interacts with the actual soul and embodiment of a individual, thinking about us as energy and the substance of our energy forces, and that creates the field of energy around us. I believe comes from the actual birth chart. The molecules and the essence of your energy can be found in your birth chart, as when you were born, you came here on earth, and that contract that you made with yourself and your soul represented in that birth chart was actually the alignment of the energy, i.e., the planets above us, the zodiac signs of the stars, all in a certain position at your time of birth based on your location and the date as well. Now, I start off that way, already leaning into an experience that I just had in this moment in space that you all have now had around a scorpionic energy. Scorpios are all about depth and psychological analysis. So, sharing the psychology around astrology is what I just wanted to begin with. And it's easy for me to tap into that because, yes, there's the experience and belief system of my own philosophy with astrology. But what we are leaning into is what we're going to be talking about today, which is the collective energy field that all of us are going to be experiencing over the next few weeks, as Scorpio season will end on November 21st. But it's giving you an incredible opportunity to, yes, leverage your birth chart, leverage who you are, the authenticity of yourself, the energy that is embodied, your host, quote unquote, the body itself that is resonating a beautiful frequency out into this world, and it is receiving an energetic frequency back into this world. And going into the seasons, why is it Scorpio season, and why are those being born now, or those that are listening that were born or have friends that were born during this time frame, these few weeks? It's the representation of the sun above us is represented in the Scorpio sign, the star alignment. So truly, when it comes to astrology, we can go in depth of my belief system, where you really look at the birth chart as the map of the unconscious mind, the creation of your soul. It is the creation of your energy. However, we want to have that narrative, the reality is looking up into the stars, looking up into these planets. To me and those that are part of this beautiful holistic human performance community, there is no way to say that they are not playing a role into our life experiences. Now, as we get further along, you're going to understand a little bit more astrologically about how it's going to affect you differently. There are different variables to all of us. We are all different energy fields, different souls here, but we are going to be experiencing an intense collective energy around the psychic, around deep inner wounds, around more of a dark setting type of energy because of where the sun is sitting over the next few weeks. And that is how you become a Scorpio sun sign. So when someone comes up and says, "What are you astrologically?" Even though at Holistic Human Performance, we represent and love all the planets and go much deeper in that, a lot of our society does lean on I'm a Scorpio. And that is just the representation of your sun sign, which is important. We always do stress the value of the sun sign, the urge, the psychological urge of the sun is power urges. So if you are a Scorpio, your power urges are going to relate to this specific season that we go deeper in on. But it is about, a sun person who has Scorpio in that sign for their sun is going to probably be a very good psychologist. They love to examine things. They love to go deeper. I think about the board game Clue, if you've ever played that. If not, highly recommend looking it up. Clue, you have to gain all these insights. You have to figure out who did the murder. And what's interesting with this methodology is also the murder sense, the dark sense that is very scorpionic as well. Scorpios love to get to the deep rooted karma, the deep rooted psyche of people. They want to examine and understand the situation. And in Clue, you have to find out who did it by collecting the information and being a very good individual to consider the elements that you are examining and collecting over time. Now, even leaning more into this collective sense of this dark, gloomy type of energy that might be around us when it relates to these scorpionic features, isn't it so funny that Halloween is coming up soon? Halloween is a powerful, powerful annual experience we all have. And what do? We do watch scary movies. We all dress up scary. Some dress up in their own costumes, but also, right, the Scorpio energy is what are you masking? And interesting, you're wearing a costume to represent something different to mask yourself. Now, that's kind of an opposite uh, pole between those things, right? I need to mask something, but, the Scorpio wants to know the deeper pieces and parts and elements to something, but it's just funny how the manifestation of Halloween comes in this beautiful collective space for year after year. It is not the only holiday that connects with its seasonality. I hope you can either listen back to other podcasts during the other seasons that Jen and I have produced, and we will continue forward with, of course, the other seasons that are upcoming. But this is an incredible opportunity when these seasons come in to lean into this energy, right? It doesn't mean that you won't have scorpionic experiences if you're not a Scorpio. What I'm narrating and what I'm pointing out is we all in this time frame are going to have more inner work, deeper pulls to get to the bottom of things. If you find yourselves in conversations of, ooh, I really don't know why I just said that, or ooh, I really needed to hear that. It doesn't always feel good, right? Because the deep wounds, maybe the darker side of things that we need to uncover, right? Go back to Clue. It's not great to go figure out who murdered in this game, the board game that we're playing, but it's something we have to do, right, to accomplish a goal. And this is an incredible time for you as individuals to accomplish the goal of either sharing things that are difficult or hearing things that are difficult. That is the incredible power of the scorpionic season is go deep into the psyche for yourself, go deep into the psyche of those you care about. And even if you're just out in a social experience, you're probably going to be having more intense psychological conversations. It is totally normal. But in our philosophy at Holistic Human Performance, we want to bring the unconscious mind, the soul, into the conscious mind. So catching yourself in the moment of, why did I just say that? Or why am I having this experience that's a little bit intensified and dark? It's okay because of the collective energy field that we are in from the scorpionic standpoint. So beautiful, beautiful opportunity to be conscious of what the energy field is and how to lean into the opportunities that come forward. Because when you lean into these energies and you're able to have these experiences, the true belief system is your soul continues to evolve. The frequency at which your soul will vibrate out into the universe will always adapt. It expands, it contracts. That's energy. Again, we believe that this soul is made up of your astrological birth chart. And now it is just playing in the field of the collective energy, which, yes, all the planets are in a certain sign, all the planets have their own urges, all the signs represent different features and motivators. But in this moment in time, the power of the sun is going to be a big thing to focus on, which is, again, these scorpionic energies that we're discussing. Now, let's bring it to yourself, right? For those that have their charts, if you do not, please reach out to us anytime. We can provide your chart. We are always there to do readings. You can find that on our website to give you some clarity. But just for yourself, I would highly recommend looking in your chart or getting the chart from us to understand where is my personal scorpionic energy. When it comes to astrology, we talk about the planets, we talk about the signs, but a large representation to understand, okay, these are the urges, these are the motivators and the flavor of those different urges based on the planet and the sign it's in. But the houses are these little numbers that are inside this circle when you're looking at your birth chart. It's represented 1 through 12. And each of these houses, as they say, represent different life experiences. So the importance of understanding where the Scorpio energy is for you is going to go back to the houses because they each represent something different. For simplicity here, we'll point out that the seventh house is about relationships. So if you have planets in Scorpio that are in your seventh house, you might see over the next few weeks more manifestations and the scorpionic energy showing up in relationships, not just intimate, business, one-on-one friendship, right? When it comes to the birth chart and we look at the 10th house, 10th house is our career or how we're seen in public. Those are the experiences. So again, learn and see, is Scorpio in my 10th house? And you can understand, ooh, this intensity might show up for me specifically because of my energy field during this collective energy of Scorpionic season might show up more for me in my career. And just what a great way as athletes prepare for games, you can prepare yourself for life. That is the true, incredible, and pivotal value that astrology can bring you. And yes, there's a lot to it. It's another language, but thinking psychologically deeper about things maybe that you want to get into, maybe this is a great time to get an astrology reading, not just from a learning standpoint and getting educated, but wanting to go deeper into your own psychology of who you are. The birth chart has everything in there. But that is a clear way of taking it upon yourself to understand, yes, I'm in this collective energy with all of us. I'm going to dress up for Halloween. I'm going to have more intense moments. Maybe I'm going to wake up and old wounds are going to come up, right? That's darker wounds of the psyche. That's karma from the past. There is a connection astrologically to some of those quote unquote darker wounds of us as individuals, or you might see them show up from people communicating directly to you, but it is a piece that you can explore in your own birth chart of where might I have more scorpionic energy for myself, which will probably lead to specific experiences over these next few weeks that you'll have because we all, again, will be going through this scorpionic season until November 21st. And if we lean into it, it's a great opportunity to expand your soul. Even if it doesn't feel great, these are darker energies, these are intense energies, but how we handle it on a daily basis with our energy field allows us to evolve and adapt, which I believe is the key category to what we want to do in this lifetime. Now, when we do these podcasts and these seasons, we do want to leave our listeners with good education. So, simplified education here with astrology is we want to bring it to the forefront of connecting the Scorpio energy, as Scorpio, as we shared, has those different traits that we've already acknowledged. But with our astrology, we are very planet focused. Planets are something that we continuously lean into, and it represents, again, planets are the urges of the psyche, so the urges of our mind, and then the sign that they're in based on that planet are going to be almost the thought patterns or the flavor of those urges, right? So being very different there. But from an educational standpoint, I want to leave you upon the rulership. So when it comes to rulership, each planet has a ruler of a certain sign. So this planetary ruler will have similar traits to its sign, and that will help you over time gain further insight and knowledge around the planets and what they represent, the signs, and allow you to really navigate a chart much smoothly. So rulership, rulership, rulership is something I constantly stress. And in this case, when it's the Scorpio sign, the main planetary ruler of Scorpio is Pluto. Pluto has this elements of deep wounds that you need to almost heal and understand clearly that you came here to heal those wounds. It is an opportunity for you to understand that, funny enough, Pluto is a planet in this astrological. You need to deal with it. That is one of my favorite sayings when it comes to Pluto because it is the darker side of things, just as its sign that it rules, Scorpio. So, Scorpio elements energy are going to relate to plutonic energy as well. So during this time, if you are a little more advanced, don't just seek out the scorpionic energy in your chart, but also understand where Pluto might be in your chart. And that can answer a lot of questions to some of the wounds that have showed up that you can cleanse and clear up. And at Holistic Human Performance, that is where Jenna and I work so well together because I can give you the map. We can conduct something that I love to call astrological narrative therapy, where we can help regain, reinforce the psyche. But then on the side with Jenna, she is such an incredible spiritual healer that there are tools to work through and actually find more harmony as you're healing these wounds. She is absolutely remarkable in all of the different sessions that she provides to our community. So when we get to work hand in hand, having the birth chart of our clients, being able to provide them both the astrological and spiritual energy forces and methods that can help them transform their lives is so pivotal to us. And as I even say that, the transformation, the almost rise over through coming through something is a little bit of the other rulership I want to point out because as we've mentioned, Pluto is the planetary ruler of Scorpio. Each of the houses that I was pointing out also have a connected rulership to the sign. Again, it is another language, but once you learn rulership and some of these basic rules, not only is no answer to a question that comes up be able to not be seen and connected from a birth chart, but it also just makes the process of learning this language much simpler. So, as Pluto rules Scorpio, we also want to point out that the eighth house rules Scorpio. So, the eighth house represents transformation. It does have at times a modern theme of the house of death. So, going further into the Scorpio energy and related to Halloween, if you really want to make it simple, I love connecting modern psychology with astrology or just modern experiences to quote unquote bring astrology down to earth. It's not voodoo, it's not fortune telling. That's not what we do here. We are leaning in even more now to the scorpionic energy of it is part of the psyche of individuals, and it can tell so much of the authenticity where you no longer have to apologize. You don't have to say good or bad or have any judgment to your thoughts or your behaviors because it's in your chart. And I think the more we lean into our own chart and have clarity of it, that is the eighth house theme here of transformation. And to get death, you also have to be reborn. So this rebirth type of element is something that is so powerful that will go back to this theme, right? What do I need to overcome in this season that I've been hiding to evolve and be reborn? So, leaning in more, you have this education of the eighth house having similar traits and representation to the scorpionic Pluto type of energy field that we've pointed out here. But that is just, again, good education because we know there's a lot of people that want to have the power to read their own charts, and we have those classes available at Holistic Human Performance app. We have some more coming out, but we also do private tutoring as a session offering if you just want a deeper one-on-one education to gain that experience alongside, of course, all of our astrology and spiritual energy sessions that we provide. Now, as we wrap up, I always want to leave our community with a question, right? Or something to lean into. And really, the question of the season for Scorpio is what have you been hiding? What is still in the shadows? Answer that for yourself. You don't have to share it with anybody. You don't have to post it on Instagram. Just meditate, sit on it. What am I hiding? What's in the shadows? Right? I can feel the goosebumps there because something's going to come up because we're in this energy field where it's already there. The shadows are there. You know it, right? And then figure out from there why. Why is it in the shadows? Or what do I need to do to maybe bring this up and overcome? Right? It's not saying that it needs that it's bad that it's in the shadows, right? Scorpio will just feel the sense of, ooh, I figured out what I was hiding. I figured out something dark and shadow-esque in my psyche, and I was able to understand that for myself. So whether you go deeper from there, I think you've already won if you just ask yourself that question and sit with it. And it's amazing because then that eighth house energy that we were talking about, the other scorpionic energy, the Plutonian energy, right, that is around us, is working through it once you have that perspective and knowledge. So I hope you have a wonderful scorpionic season. I hope the 31st of October on Halloween allows you a wonderful ability to manifest and have Scorpio energy in one day, but recognize it's a process over the next few weeks. so you don't need to clear everything up. But hopefully, with this insight, you've enjoyed learning astrology forces. But additionally to that, you're able to leverage this insight for yourself. And we are always around, open and willing to speak with our community. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you in the next season, which will be Sagittarius season. But for now, let's honor Scorpio and get there soon. Thanks so much.